Another mastermind hit.
What's up? Happy 420. Welcome back to 420 Live, Ohio. It's good to have y'all back. Checking audio. Looks like we're good on the audio. As always, what is everybody medicating on today? Let me go ahead and get today's show started off. That's weird. So, hey, what's up, Jeffrey? Waiting on my YouTubers to get in here. So we got a couple people from YouTube in here. What's up, YouTube? We are here. And we got some breaking news that I got for you guys that just came in literally right before we got started. So I'm going to wait a couple more minutes for y'all to get here. While I'm waiting, let me just tell you a few things going on. We got freeze pops in the market now. Grow Ohio dropped freeze pops, so stay tuned for a review on the freeze pops. If you haven't already, make sure that you go ahead and do me a big favor and hit that like, subscribe button right now. If you like what I'm doing, make sure you definitely hit the like, subscribe button. It was supposed to show up on the screen. There it is. Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate you helping me out here, and hope you find these videos beneficial to you. Today's topic will be about cannabis patients in general, and about protecting your information as a cannabis patient. But before we get to that, we definitely have a couple things that we need to talk about. And let me see here what you guys are saying here. Hey, Captain Green Toker, lemon mints. Oh yeah, you got some flame, huh? Okay, all right, I'll take that. Anybody else that didn't tell me what they was medicating on before we get started? Let me just jump into something fun first. Let me just jump into something positive, somewhat positive news that came yesterday, which you might have saw on my page. According to Marijuana Moment here, the Alabama Senate approves the medical marijuana legislation bill. But there seems to be a catch here. The catch is that they're not allowing vaping or smoking, but they are allowing tinctures, I think, and some pills, and most importantly, they're allowing suppositories. I thought that was kind of like interesting. Like, yeah, here it is. The bill also prohibits raw cannabis smoking, vaping, and candy and baked good products. Patients would instead be allowed to purchase capsules, lozenges, oils, suppositories, or topical patches. Oh yeah, you got some astral destiny here, Robert. Okay, Robert, welcome back. Where have you been, my friend? Those people have been keeping you busy at work, huh? Oh man. That's awesome. Have some popsicles in the program. Yeah, it is awesome, isn't it, Father Time? Good to see you here too as well. And so I just wanted to touch on that, but that ain't the big news. That is big news, but this is bigger news. Check this out. Got this here today. Yeah. Board of Pharmacy announces public hearing. Wait a minute. No, sorry, wrong slide. We're going to go over this here in a second. I hit you with the wrong thing first. My bad. We already knew about the hearing. That wasn't it. Wrong one. Boom. This is what I wanted right here for y'all to see. Now, all right, check this out. Patient and caregiver newsletter. What I want to know, by a show of hands, if you received this email today. I love how it's coming on February 26th, and it's the February newsletter when February is essentially over in the next 48 hours. So it's kind of funny to me. So let's go through this letter together. Here, it says here, let's see. The Board of Pharmacy has started a patient caregiver newsletter to help the board stay more connected with Ohio marijuana patients and caregivers. and to share more information about the program, rules, updates, and more. Yeah, it just might. It just might. Robert, you said you got this one? Okay, sweet. Well, I'm going to still go through it for those people who didn't. Now, recommendation and registration. In order to purchase medical marijuana, patients must both, I like in bold print. In order to purchase medical marijuana, patients must have both an active recommendation and a valid registration. A recommendation is obtained from a physician who is certified to recommend medical marijuana. A recommendation period is 90 days and also include 90-day refill periods. I feel like we're like starting on the first day of the program or something. A patient has a valid registration when the patient has completed the initial process through the Ohio. Well, yeah, you got to read it, man. See what they're talking about. A patient has a valid registration. I'm trying to see where they're going with this. It just seems like you're just repeating information that we already noticed on the main homepage of their website. I'm thinking, is there anything important here for us to know? A patient, I just got this a little while ago. A patient has a valid registration when a patient is completed. A patient also has a valid registration if the patient has renewed their registration by law. Okay, I'm not reading that all over. That seems repetitive. Now this part down at the bottom, temporary changes to Ohio law have extended the deadline for all patient and caregiver registrations. If a patient or caregiver registration expires between March 9th, 2020 and April 1st, 2021, the expiration date has been extended and will remain valid through July 1st, 2021. Patient and caregiver registration cards will not be updated to reflect the July 1st, 2021 expiration date. However, dispensaries have been instructed to accept these registration cards as valid. I'm going to read that one more time for everybody, so don't say anything. Just let me read it before you comment. Temporary changes to the Ohio law have extended the deadline for all patients and caregiver registrations. If a patient or caregiver's registration expires between March 9th, 2020 and April 1st, 2021, the expiration date has been extended and will remain valid through July 1st, 2021. Patient and caregiver registration cards will not be updated to reflect the July 1st, 2021 expiration date. However, and this is the important part, folks, dispensaries have been instructed to accept these registration cards as valid. Please note, the temporary law change did not extend the recommendation periods for patients. Therefore, if a patient's recommendation is no longer active, the patient will not be able to purchase medical marijuana unless a recommendation is obtained from the CTR physician. If you do not have an active recommendation, please contact your CTR physician to schedule an appointment. Now that was on page 1. Let me see if I can find the other page of this wonderful newsletter that they put out. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Page 2. Because this is so big of a newsletter, I couldn't get it in one shot, right? I wanted it to be crystal clear and right straight to the point on the screen for you to see this. So, purchase summary table. Patients may have noticed that the purchase summary table is now viewable on their registry account. This chart contains the personalized field number periods, the start and end dates for each of the field periods in a purchase and remaining column. The field period start and end dates for patients should be correct on your account. However, the board is still working with the vendor to ensure that the appropriate information is used to determine the purchased and remaining columns. Therefore, for many patients, these columns are not correct. I repeat, these columns are not correct. Again, this is what we already knew, that the system is still not fixed. The only difference is they want to send us a newsletter to tell us it's still not fixed. Dispensaries have been instructed to continue calculating remaining days supply using the day supply calculator previously provided by the board, not to rely on the purchased and remaining columns. Therefore, if you notice that the purchased or remaining columns on your purchase summary table are inaccurate, You do not need to contact the board to report this information. Also, if your registration card is showing an expired date and you are relying on the temporary extension, see previous article. You will not see a purchase summary table on your registry account. The last part here is a rule reminder. Pursuant to Rule 3796:72-07C, as in Charlie, patients must notify the board of any information changes within 30 calendar days of the change. These changes include name, address, telephone number, and email address. To make changes to their address, telephone number, or email address, patients, 1, go to OhioMedicalMarijuanaRegistry.com and log in there with email address and password, then click edit and update the information. Contact their physician's office to request their information to be updated. 3, email MMC, you know, my favorite one, mmcpregistry@pharmacy.ohio.gov to request the information to be updated, including the full name, date of birth information. Don't worry, guys, if you didn't get this information, I will be happy to email it or text it to you or send it to you in Facebook Messenger, because I'm sure not everybody got this information. So dispensaries cannot update patient registration information. Okay, to change your name on your registry account, please contact your physician or your email the MMCP registry at pharmacyohio.gov and provide proof of, proof that of your name change. Stuff you already know. Okay, so now that we have got through this newsletter, I would love to know if you feel more connected to the Board of Pharmacy now than you did before. I want to know in the comments if you felt like this newsletter was more helpful than other documents that they have sent that you didn't receive. And again, Robert said he got it. Did anyone else receive it? Jeffrey, you got the newsletter? Anybody else watching out there on the interwebs, did you get the newsletter? Because I know when they sent out the hearing thing, no one got that. So, I just want to make sure that you did get it, because that's important. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing that we need to be talking about today, and that's gonna be, okay, you got it too far time. Okay, well, that's progress made. So people are receiving it. Cool. Back to this other issue, the hearing that is on March 12th. I want to make sure everybody has it marked on their calendars. And, if you didn't get the email, you can email the Board of Pharmacy and tell them you want the email. Something else I want you to do is I want you to let the Board of Pharmacy know that you would love to have a town hall meeting with them and talk to them about the issues that you actually care about, that they could kind of maybe follow up on in their new and improved newsletter that they just started. So there should be a place in that newsletter for patients to put something in there, or patients to be able to send feedback about the newsletter. Board of Pharmacy, if you're listening, I'm going to give you some criticism about putting out a newsletter on 2 days for the month's over about information most of us already have gotten, but some of us didn't receive it because they are not signed up for email updates. So that's something else I want to encourage you to do if you haven't done it already, is to sign up on the Board of Pharmacy's website, Ohio Marijuana Registry, ohio.gov, that website with all those characters in it, and make sure you get the updates, because you want to know what's going on, and you want to be able to come to these events when they're having them. Every time I try to log in, it says my password is wrong, so I have to change it every time. Yeah, it seems to me that this is just a broken system, and again, I'm gonna say it, it's tied to a system that's designed to monitor drug abuse. So it's a drug monitoring, drug abuse system. So it's not really designed to service cannabis patients, medical cannabis patients, as us using it. It's designed to find out if people are abusing drugs. It's not for people who are supposedly actively legally using their medicine. It's for people who are abusing their medicines. That's the whole purpose of the ORS system. It's not to do us any favors, and it surely wasn't originally designed for medical marijuana. I feel like the key issue at hand is that this our program needs to be separated from a system that is designed to basically monitor for drug abuse. Our system should be designed to monitor for sales history and purchase history, and also just calculations of how many days we got left, if that's what we're going with. So anyway, back to this hearing that we got going on coming up on March 12th. I'm going to keep drilling in everybody's brain to make sure y'all there, because it's important. Request for application to operate medical marijuana dispensaries, application to operate medical marijuana dispensaries, medical marijuana dispensary license application evaluations, number of dispensary licenses. To sum it up for you, this is the expansion of the program or not. Either it's going to expand or it's not going to expand. And this hearing is probably going to tell us or give us some kind of direction of whether or not our program is actually going to expand or not. And I think that's information we need to know. Hey, Tamiko, good to see you here today. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate you being here. And so we're going to go on to the main part of what we're talking about today, because like I said, of course, you know, when you have some good news, there's always some other news that ain't so great. So today's show, protecting your info, MMJ best practices. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about protecting your information as a cannabis patient. I mean, in all honesty, I think a lot of us sometimes we're so busy just trying to get the medicine that we kind of forget that as being MMJ patients, that some people don't like us and they look down on us or they stereotype us. And then some people are most interested to find out what we actually have and maybe steal from us. So we have to be careful about our information. So that's the purpose of today, is to kind of talk about some of the things that I know are happening that you may not be privy to that directly relate back to you as a patient. So, you know, first thing is, let's talk about the problem. The problem is that major data breaches have occurred. This is not just a one-off. This is not something you can just ignore, pretend it didn't happen. This has happened. And this isn't just one company. This is multiple government agencies, private companies, and even pharmacies like Kroger's. And we'll get into that here in just a second. Who has this problem? Everybody's got this problem, right? And you say, yeah, whatever. But no, the reason this is an issue that I'm concerned about as an MMJ patient, when I say MMJ, you know what I mean, as a medical cannabis patient, is that I don't want people to know how much cannabis I'm purchasing on a regular basis. Personal data is worth protecting. How can we solve this problem? I had a typo there. It's supposed to be solved. It says solve. You know how it is. By taking dramatic steps to protect data. So, you know, the impact of data breaches for Ohio MMJ patients, medical data is very private. Hackers have breached several government private systems, including pharmacies such as Kroger's. This means hackers could have access to your MMJ purchase history, which is shared with a system called ORS. And this is Ohio's only system to monitor prescription drug abuse, which you heard me say earlier. So what I'm going to show you here is a document. This is a real document. And this is a letter that Kroger's is sending out to people. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I'm going to just go over the highlight part is that what happened. Right, and let you know that a data security incident affecting some company, Acilion, which has been used by the Kroger company and many other companies, many other companies for secure file transfers. This incident involved your personal information. At this time, we have no indication of fraud, misuse, or personal information as a result of this incident. Nevertheless, we're notifying you, blah, 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 blah. What are we doing? Let's jump down to that, because I don't want to read the rest of it. They know, look, our investigation into the scope is ongoing, so they don't want to tell me everything about what information was involved, but we can only speculate. This includes your date of birth, information to process insurance claims, prescription information, such as your prescriber number, prescriber doctor, medication names and dates, medical history, as well as certain criteria such as services where you ordered an influenza test, and they say, oh, no worries, no credit card or debit card information could have possibly been used or been taken. I'll just let you know, man, they got me yesterday. Went to town on my bank, hacked my account. So, you know, this letter that you're seeing here, that was sent to me. I don't never get on here and just say things to be saying them if I can't prove them. So I want you to see a letter they sent to me. So if you do business with Kroger's or any of their little sub companies that they hide under, they're not Kroger's, you need to be checking your bank accounts. You need to be checking your pharmacy to make sure they wasn't included in this massive pharmacy data breach. And you say, well, Anthony, that didn't have nothing to do with my medical cannabis. Well, yes, it does. Because everybody should know this. And if you don't know this, if you go to your pharmacy, they can access your ORS report. And in your ORS report, it's where your cannabis purchase history actually is. And that's what everything you've gotten from where you got it and on and on and on. But like I said, to someone who would like to maybe steal your information, create a fraudulent account, they have everything they need to know. Hey, Alicia, welcome back. And it's just scary because they can log into your stuff. If they've breached government software, and look up SolarWinds if you need to look up something, because some people like to research what I say. Google SolarWinds data breach. Google Kroger's data breach. Look into it some more yourself. But this is something you should be worried about as an MMJ patient, only because your information is supposed to be protected by these type of secure file transfer systems they mentioned that they say many companies used who have yet to be named. See, and I just want to remind you guys that we're still having our get together on Zoom this weekend at 7:30. All you need to do is go to the website and you can RSVP there, and the Zoom link is already in the RSVP, so you don't have to look for it. If you can't find it, simply send a message to me and you will get the Zoom link back. Simple as that. I'm glad to see you out of the Facebook jail, Alicia. A lot's been going on. We are trying to get a virtual town hall meeting with the Board of Pharmacy. And so this brings up another piece of information that is relevant to us as patients. This should be brought up before the Board of Pharmacy. Is like, what have you done to look into this situation to see if this could have any potential impact to medical cannabis patients' information? I guarantee you they're probably using the same file transfer system to transfer the data back and forth. I don't know that for sure because I don't work for them, but I'm just saying it's mighty coincidental that this system's breached. Other systems been breached before. Let's not forget about the dispensary breach at Bloom. We never really knew the outcome of that breach either. So that was last year. So we had a dispensary breach, and then now we have a pharmacy breach. We have government systems breached, and we even had a situation where they tried to poison people's water supply by breaching their water control systems. So if someone's willing to do all these things, imagine what they're going to do with somebody like us that are just patients. Man, they can wreak havoc on our lives simply by creating fraudulent accounts, trying to purchase medicine in our names. You'd be surprised how creative somebody can be. If they can clone a debit card, you think they can't clone a MMJ card? You're not, come on, man. What does it take? Not much. How safe is our data as a patient? I don't want people in the black market, in the dark internet, to know that I bought a half ounce of Larry OG. That's my business. So it matters. It matters. So, what I want to tell you guys to do today is just to make sure that you, for one, are checking your bank accounts. You are always making sure that you don't disclose anything you shouldn't be disclosing while you're at the dispensary. That could be, anything that would give away any of your private information. You also want to make sure that when you dispose of your MMJ receipts or whatever, make sure that you're shredding those or ripping them into pieces. Don't just throw them in the trash, because people have gotten creative these days. People are desperate, and people will steal your identity. I have been through it. I even got arrested one time because someone stole my identity, and they created a warrant for my arrest and everything, and I had to go to jail, and they held the whole tell it to the judge just like on TV, and I had to prove my case that it wasn't me. And there's a scar on my face. That's the only way that I was able to prove that it wasn't me. A scar on my face. So it's important that you make sure that you protect your data. and that you make sure that you keep your information secure. It's important that you plan on coming to the hearing on March 12th. It's also important that you, if you want to see some things change and you want to see much more information come out in the newsletter, you definitely should let the Board of Pharmacy know that you would like a virtual town hall meeting. If I can't give you something else to do this weekend, I think that should be the main thing you focus on, because I know that many of you have specific concerns. Some of them I've already heard, some of them I'll try to help you with, and some people I've seen have tried to get help and it still didn't work, and they still didn't get any success. And when I see people who are trying to get something resolved and the Board of Pharmacy just tells them no luck, nothing they could do, we can't just keep going on like this. So it's important that we address these things, and that's the thing. I just want to let you guys know, I did get those freeze pops by Grow Ohio, and they're in the freezer right now getting ready. I'm getting them ready for the unboxing, so I will be doing an unboxing. What's up, Brian? And like I said, it's important for us to make sure that we're taking care of our information, because if we're not taking care of it, nobody else is. I mean, let's be real with ourselves. They're just not. Now, tomorrow we're going to be, medicating and relaxing, but we also are still going to just make sure that we're all on the same page about, what we're going to be doing going forward as an Ohio cannabis community. So if you want to, have a meaningful conversation and also engage and meet with other patients, I expect to see you at the Zoom. And that doesn't have to be your face. You can also do audio only if you don't feel comfortable being on camera. I can totally get it. If you have issues with the internet, your internet's not good, or you don't use internet, you can also use the phone number and dial into the Zoom meeting, and that will allow you to still be able to participate and talk to everybody if you need to be. So, don't worry. You don't have to have a Zoom account set up. There's no equipment needed other than your computer or your phone and the camera and the microphone, which mostly everybody has, especially if you're watching this video. I don't have them in front of me. It's in the freezer. But I do believe that it's 10 milligrams for each freeze pop, and you get 10 freeze pops in a box. I can say that. Yeah, layer cake equals fire. Yeah. I can certainly support that assessment there, Dirk Diggler. You right about that, man. Yes. So yeah, the freeze pops, they came out I think yesterday or today, one of the two. I'm going to give y'all a couple new reviews this weekend, hopefully, depending on what's all going on. I mean, I've been kind of having some medical problems myself, and so that's kind of slowed me down on the whole review game. So that's why you haven't seen a whole lot of like little reviews coming out. But I could tell you some of the reviews that are coming. Obviously, I just told you about the one about the freeze pops, but there's also going to be a review on my mind went blank. Cereal Milk by Woodward. That's coming tonight, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. I'm almost 98. Well, I'm 80% done with that video. There will also be a review video on the subcritical sugar, just a little bit closer, in depth a little bit. It also will be a review video on the Delta Shift live resin. That will be coming. And I don't know if we did Close Encounters yet, but that one might still be out there. You might not have seen that one yet. So keep an eye out for the Close Encounters live resin video if you haven't seen that one yet. You said NYC Kim's, no joke, huh? Who was that by? Who grows NYC Kim, Brian? Well, I mean, for a popsicle, I mean, when you're thinking about a water soluble, a lot of people always kind of think when they hear like a lower milligram on a water soluble, they think it's lower or it's not as strong. But I'm not sure if they're using distillate or not. I'll have to look at the packaging and go through it a little bit deeper. But if it's a distillate based mixture, then that would be kind of weak. I would agree with you, Alicia. But if it's water soluble and it's 100 those are a little bit different because the water soluble hits you much quicker than a distillate. So we'll see. We'll see if it's any good or not. It's either a hit or a miss, you know, just like with them moppy sticks. It's either a hit or a miss. I do think because it's freeze pops, I do believe that I might go ahead and just do that review with y'all live. So we can just do a whole live unboxing and we can do a whole little hangout and see exactly what happens, how long it takes for me to say I feel nothing, or I say, oh, I feel something, haha, I feel great, and see, you know, if it's really, you know, worth you guys going out and buying. I do think the price is kind of out there a little bit, but if you give discounts, it might not be that bad. Yeah, Aaron, you must have missed that. We was talking about, that was the first part of the shows. We talked about that newsletter they put out. I have to laugh about it, man, because it's just funny. I mean, because it's like the first part of it is like, I swear they just copy and pasted the first part of the patient info section on the main Ohio marijuana registry website and just copy and pasted it into a newsletter. I mean, and then the part about the registrations, which was actually handled in House Bills 404. I talked about that last week, and I put that out. I mean, a little late for that. I mean, what about the people that got turned away last weekend? When was the dispensaries instructed to stop turning people away? Because I got reports 3 people got turned away at least last weekend. So I'm not sure that we got the message. Right, Mike? Oh, man. So, yeah, you know, it's just like, what is this guy medicating on? I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some, but like I said, you're still going to have to watch the review later. We'll do some of this cereal milk with y'all. You drank a half a bottle of Blood Orange tincture, 200 milligrams, and it only helped me for about 5 hours. Blood Orange, is that the tincture by Benaleeves Little Mac 86? I've been wondering about that. So you said it was 200, but you said it did help you, but only for 5 hours, and you had to drink half the bottle. So you might want to try that Grow Ohio one then, Little Mac, because that one's 600 milligrams. That's probably going to be stronger. That's what I'm thinking. Really? Oh, yeah, that's sweet right there. Oh, yeah, what did you just do? What did you do, Brian? I love it, man. It's like 3-dimensional or something, man. It's like good. Keep on, man. Somebody else try a Giphy and see if that works. That was pretty cool. Maybe we can make Giphies come up on the screen too. Somebody try to get like that Snoop Dogg dancing Giphy, you know, where he's like doing this. You said it tastes great though, but you have a tolerance. You make your own oil now. Okay. I mean, that's where we're at right now, is that patients are having to learn to do things on their own because the education guidance that the board should be providing to patients is not there. You know, what I would like to see is, you know, what I already created. You know, I told you guys about my resource page, and I'm going to update it, and I'm going to change the website. And just based on what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, man, I'm just gonna make my website the resource page. I'm just gonna do it, man. So when you go to my homepage after tonight, it will look like a little bit different because I'm gonna change it, because I feel like more important than me showing you some review videos, Juice, that you need resources. And you know, I'll be happy to post the Board of Pharmacy's newsletter on my website or wherever, but you know, at the end of the day, I think that, you know, something that patients, whenever they send out something, it should go to all patients, regardless of whether they're signed up for updates or not. It's an update. I mean, it's an important message, It should just be automatically given this all 230,000 patients who you already have their emails captured. So I don't understand the reluctancy to send all. So, you know, Board of Pharmacy, you know, I know you watch my videos, maybe somebody at the Board of Pharmacy is watching it, or Miss Sharon if y'all watching it. I would just say, please just do us all a big favor and just hit the send all next time. Send it to everybody. Send everything to everybody from now on. You know, anytime you want to let us know something as patients, just do us all a favor and just close your eyes and hit send all. I mean, because it really will help. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying, there's a lot of patients. A lot of us are on YouTube. Some of us are on Facebook. Some of us are on Discord. What's up, Discord? Shout out to my Discord people. A lot of us on Reddit. What's up, Reddit? Twitter. Hey, Twitter. But all of us got emails. And I think all of us will look at an email coming from the board if it came in our email box. More importantly than all the other millions of emails we all get every day now. I mean, email has just become so overwhelming that it's just like it's impossible to keep up with sometimes. Yeah, I mean, some people, edibles, you know, are not really the answer. I can say that. A lot of people want it to be their answer for their medication route, but it's not. And I think a lot of things that I've observed is that, and it's just in me, is that if I'm doing edibles, it can't stand on its own. Just listening to what you're saying, Little Mac. I mean, edibles themselves, you can't rely on edibles alone to medicate. I just don't see it working out that way, especially for a lot of people who. You want to call it a high tolerance, but it really isn't that. It's just the fact your body is processing these things differently than the other person, and there's no correlation scientifically yet that explains why, you know, I might eat 5 gummies and I'm hammered, and the other person eats the same 5 gummies and they're like, what? Nothing's happening. It is totally about each person uniquely and individually how their body is handling things. And I think that, you know, if you feel like you're a person who needs strong things, higher medicine, don't let yourself run away thinking it's the THC, because it may not be the THC that you really need for your problem. It may relax you, it may make you feel good to get THC in you, but that doesn't necessarily solve the problem all the time. I mean, there's one thing, you can get stoned out of your mind, high out of your mind, blowed out of your mind. It doesn't necessarily mean that your pain is just going to disappear all the time. And so that's when the terpenes do start to matter. And with edibles, we already know there's not likely you're getting any real terpenes in the edibles unless you're eating a full spectrum edible. So to try to get everything you need in just a edible by itself, or just a tincture by itself, I don't really see that, because those particular items are most of the time stripped of all their terpenes from the original plant source material they came from. So, and a lot of times those type of products are made with a trim mix or a keef mix or some other, you know, scraps of sorts. I mean, very rarely do they use like fresh nugs to make like edibles and tinctures and things of that nature. They usually use the scrappings, the trims, you know, the extras. So, you know, I think that, you know, a lot of people, you know, make these homemade edibles, make homemade oils, and they work. And I think part of that is because when you're making these things and they're strong, you know, it gives you this feeling that maybe, you know, that's where you want to be as far as the high, the feeling that you know all your life. All I know when I smoked cannabis before was getting high and getting we call it medicated now, but before the program we was getting high. We was never educated or explained to how to understand the difference between getting high and getting medicated, and maybe getting high at the same time, maybe both. But if we have so many people who are just THC, I need 1,000,000 milligrams, I need 1,000 milligrams, I need 10 million milligrams, I need all these milligrams, I need all the edibles, everything to be 1,000,000 milligrams because I have a high tolerance. I need to be the strongest edible in the world because I can handle more than King Kong. I've seen people with those same attitudes take something that didn't have hardly no THC in it, and they're asleep. They're out. I've watched it. Watch people do all kind of things. You've seen me do all kind of things. And even if you can't tell specifically what happens on camera, I can tell you sometimes things will affect me in a psychoactive way more than others. And other things will take me into a different way, which helps me with critical thinking, ideas, anxiety relief, stress relief. And I don't think those elements don't necessarily come from a high. It's the plant itself and all the other cannabinoids that are in there. THC is just THC delta 9. There's THC delta 8. There's CBDs and CBGs and the whole alphabet of cannabinoids that we have yet to learn about, because all we've known all our lives is what we've always known. Cannabis gets me high, and I like that feeling, and I'm always chasing that same feeling. And you know, like Captain Green Toker is talking about CBN. I want to learn more about CBN, and I would like to do some videos about some CBN focused products, because I know nothing about CBN other than, you know, I'm hearing it's good for sleep. Is that right, Captain Green Toker? It's supposed to be good for sleeping. Do I have that right? Quote me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I want to learn about CBN because I have hyperinsomnia. Now, you would think, well, if I just got high enough, I would just fall asleep. Well, guess what I learned about that? If you just get so medicated because you want to fall asleep and wake up the next day with a hangover, like effect, kind of like a migraine, a headache, from doing too much medical cannabis. You may not have experienced this yet, but someday you will. Just take it from a wise cannabis user who's been using it since I was 15 years old. And I'm 41 now. So I've been using cannabis a long time. And I still have very little knowledge compared to someone else who has been exposed to all the right information, per se. In Ohio, we're basically not getting access to all the right information, and it makes it really hard for somebody like me to try to explain something I learned when I just learned it, and I'm still just trying to get myself comfortable accepting the new information that I got that undoes everything I knew from the street and everything I knew growing up. It's all different now. It's all scientific. So, you know, as we all go on this journey together, you know, every video I do isn't going to be about a review or about the Board of Pharmacy. It's also going to be about us trying to figure out how to learn how to get the best effects out of these things for our conditions. You know, when I bring Dr. Montgomery on here, you know, the idea is for us to have a discussion about smoking and vaping is what we're discussing. And you know, it's an ongoing debate. Some people like smoking, some people like vaping. Me personally, I feel like vaping has become more dominant to me because when I try to go smoke, it tastes like terrible to me. You know, it's just like when you I quit smoking cigarettes. If I was to smoke a cigarette, it would taste terrible to me. Blah. If I'm in a room with a cigarette now, blah. But when I was smoking them, hey, no worries. I don't even notice it. I'm fine. But as you change the way you medicate, you find those things are more annoying to you than they used to be because it's something you're not used to being around anymore, you know. Yes, and this is something else that Captain Green Toker had mentioned last week, is a word that I had learned about, and he gave me some good information about it, is flavonoids. And I want to definitely learn more about that word. And maybe we need to do a whole show on that, Captain Green Toker, just to talk about flavonoids and what information we could learn about it. You know, I would love to get somebody scientific, you know, somebody who makes things or is, you know, scholared in that kind of thing. But I would love to just have a show about flavonoids, because I really didn't know that word until you brought it up last week. And I'm glad you did, because the more stuff we learn, the more we're going to get smarter and be more educated on how to make good decisions. Because something I hear people say sometimes is, it's hard to decide what to get without seeing it and smelling it. And if you're not really that familiar with the lineage and what the lineage means and how that works for you and what other people have said historically, then it's really hard for you to make a decision based on just a name on the menu and a stock photo. Street weed is typically old, therefore it has CBN usually, so it makes eyes heavy, tiring, but may not be the THC. Well, that's an interesting look at it. I mean, you know, I agree with you. Street weed is typically old. It just depends on what region you in, maybe. You know, a lot of people are already home growing. Let's just face the reality of that. I mean, I'm sure people know it. And, you know, I hope that at some point home grow will be legal. I mean, real soon. I'm hoping that we can just, you know, go with the MORE Act, and that'll just make a federal rule, you know, and then we don't, you know, we'll have to still deal with the state, but at least it'll be, you know, no more federal issues with it. So I'm hoping that that will come through for us. And, you know, I can't say it enough. You know, when it comes time to vote again, you got to get out and vote for people who are pro-cannabis to be a part of your district and whoever your local government is. If you're not voting for people in your mayors, your you know, even your police chief and any type of law enforcement in your community, you need to be paying attention to who those people are, and you need to find out what is their position on medical cannabis or cannabis in general. And if they come up for election, you need to find out before you vote for them blindly if they support cannabis or not, because right now there's a lot of people in office who do not support cannabis. And, you know, there's people in office that do, but they're greatly outnumbered a lot. So, you know, that's something you need to look at. You know, if you live in a small community, make sure you talk to your mayor. What's your stake on it? How would you feel about having a dispensary here if there's not one already there? These are the kind of conversations that you want to have with your local community leaders, even the church. You want to get everybody's input in your area, because if you don't do that, you're never going to get a dispensary in your town. Look at that. All right, man. Okay, man. He done figured out how to, yeah, okay. I like how it brings up the picture on the screen too, man. That's slick. You just figured out something, man. So, okay, what he's put up here is the MaryJane.com. What are cannabis flavonoids? So that's great. Thanks, Brian, for putting that up on the screen for us there, man. And everybody should be able to see that link and be able to check it out and, you know, learn more about flavonoids. I mean, like I said, we're still going to do a whole video on it, but I love how it shows the link and the picture and everything up there. So that allows you guys to kind of be interactive with me on the screen, and you can put up some of your stuff. You know, now what I'm wondering is, like, can you put pictures in there? Because I mean, we're looking at a picture. I know that's just part of the thumbnail for the website, but can we post pictures in the live chat now, guys? Is that what's happening on Facebook? Somebody post a picture on Facebook. Post a bug picture. Let's see what's happening here. That's what it looks like. Because it looks to me like we can actually do that. But I know we can't do it on YouTube. It won't let us do it there. I already know that's not going to work. Unless y'all figured out a way to do that too. Man, what's going on in the juice, man? You just checked in, checked out. I know juice is out there. You can tell us in the next Hall of Strains video is coming out. Yeah, he left. You know, it's Friday night, everybody. What's everybody having for dinner? I'm having a pasta salad. No meat. Let me put this RSVP in here for you guys too. Let's see. What's for dinner, man? Oh, wait, that wasn't the right thing. Here we go. Let's see. Fried chicken. Ah, yeah, that sounds wonderful. Fried chicken. That sounds right on time. Man, I had some Burger King chicken sandwiches. Here is the link for the meeting. This isn't the Zoom link, but when you click on this link, it will take you to the register RSVP, and if you look at the comments in there on that, you'll see the actual Zoom meeting information there. So I'm posting it on the Facebook, and I'm posting it on the YouTube comments, so you should be able to see it. So should be popping up there any second now. And here it goes right now. Boom. All right, so now it's in there. And so I sent it on both platforms. So all you gotta do is click on that and it'll take you where you need to go. It didn't show me a picture, did it? It just showed that same picture. What's up with that? See, I had to look into that and see why it's doing that, man. It lets Brian send the picture, but it won't let me. Is that it? Okay, is Kiwi, is that an Instagram picture you just sent? Let me go see that. Let me see your picture. Yeah, see, the dog you put in there, Brian, didn't come up. Yeah, whatever you put in there said this page wasn't available. Was that what is that? Yeah, it wouldn't let me do it. It wouldn't bring anything up. It's a dead end. Man. Nobody else is cooking dinner today except for Little Mac 86. On a Friday night, man, y'all gotta eat. You gotta eat, right? Man. Well, I'll tell you guys what. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap today's show, and then I'm gonna come right back and do the popsicles. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes.